Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. Again, I have a little message for you that I mentioned to you from a previous video called The Con. And I had mentioned that I was going to produce an additional video for you that would introduce to you the winning way. Now, the con was about a political con, not just those strange con, but a political con. And this message today is coming to you live from station WEBM. That's wonderful Eddie B. Marcus, operating from the top of the sky, right to wherever you are. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this message, as I indicated today, has to do with the subject matter is this all there is? And if I had to have an additional subject, minor subject to add on to that, it would go like, well, what more do you want? And I would like to answer that if I asked that question. And I'd answer it like this: as in heaven, so on earth. At a funeral the other day, I witnessed an onslaught of praise on the deceased. You've heard the expression, give me my flowers while I live rather than when I die. Well, apparently this young person had applied and spread so many flowers over others until it seems like all of the others just came to offer praise, even at this moment. And it was worth taking notice. I had to reconsider. Am I as kind and wonderful as I think I am? Ladies and gentlemen, I have concluded that life is wonderful when built on the foundation of peace, prosperity, and joy for every citizen. Life is wonderful when built on the foundations of peace, of prosperity, and joy for every citizen. Not blacks alone, or whites alone, or Americans alone, but all citizens, citizens of the earth. To achieve such an end requires justice. Would you agree? Justice is found on the premise that every citizen should be satisfied with their lives. Justice is found on the premise that every citizen should have that which supports what I've previously mentioned. Every citizen should also have a career of choice, and that these choices address the survival guarantees for every citizen of this state, of this nation, and of this world. Each career utilizes resources given freely to the human race, whether it's on earth, whether it's in the earth, whether it's above the earth, seen and unseen. These resources are free of another power and not by man. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the resources of the earth. Just to name a few, I'm talking about oil, gas, whatever the other minerals are. I'm talking about diamonds and silver, tin, iron, ore. I'm talking about all of the things that you who deal with these particulars are for and way for familiar with. And man had nothing to do with their being here, but they are here, and they're here to serve a purpose. And what is that purpose? Well, there might be many purposes, but the ones that we're concerned about now are those purposes that deals with you and me. It has to do with our survival on earth. We're here on this plane. We didn't just come here, dropped out on space. We walk on the ground. That ground was put here so we can have something to walk on. The air and the oxygen that's out here, it is not just here. It's here so that we humans who need to breathe oxygen can have it. And those resources necessary to produce the oxygen that can be in the air for us to breathe has already been put here for us because we need it. And what else do we need that we got control of? I would say to you, ladies and gentlemen, that every last one of these careers addresses a certain part of that which is required for survival. And I would list them like this. I would say career number 1. Should deal with feeding all citizens. Nobody can survive without food. Without going any deeper into the explanations, because I'm familiar that you are familiar with what it's all about. The second career would deal with shelter for all citizens. Everybody needs shelter, whether it's a mansion or a cave. You need to be able to get out of the elements to survive. And so one of the careers should make sure that every human being not only are fed, but have shelter. Every citizen as well. Now the third career that I would identify has to do with clothing. Every individual requires clothing. Now there are places where they don't have it, but I guarantee you, given some choice, they want it if they have to put leaves around them. So, as a requirement for survival, as a career that promotes survival, then clothing is number 3 that I mentioned. Didn't have to be in that order. The fourth career has to do with education. You know what education does. It prepares us to be, true education, proper education, provides us to be better at whatever it is that we have been given to do. So that not only you, but everybody that has something to do with what you have done can be better off. So education is guaranteed to everyone. Now, if I got to talk of a fifth career, that fifth career would say provide health care for every citizen. Provide health care for every citizen. No one is without health care, from the womb to the absolute tomb. And all of these, ladies and gentlemen, are guaranteed to every last one of us. To the blacks, to the whites, to the Trumpsters, to the whoever's in this country from wherever you come. It guarantees it to every last one of you. That's what this proposal is about. But that's just some of the things that are essential for survival. But there are other careers that has nothing to do with survival. For instance, like sports, football and basketball and hockey and tennis and all of these things. They give us excitement. They give us what? Recreation. They are essential. For whom? For everybody that wants it. Whoever wants to go to any of these events. And to benefit those, to go before those who say, ooh, I want to play basketball. Ooh, I want to run. I want to be a trackster. And people say, I want to see you run. Another career has to do with the arts. Painting and writing and drawing and music and dancing. All of these are necessary for survival. But these are what we call cream on the top. We get fed out of this. And there are those who have been given this desire to participate in that. And why? Because we want to see it. We want to engage ourselves. We want to indulge ourselves. Now, there are other careers that has to do with transportation, whether it's on land, air, or water. And there are people who just can't see themselves doing anything else but this. And what? It serves a purpose. And who should benefit from it? Every citizen should benefit from it. And I say these things, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm convinced that they should be guaranteed to everyone. And when I say guaranteed, I mean guaranteed. Nobody can be without it. No system of socialization can be established that would deny any of these benefits to anyone. And why is that? It is because every individual has a career. Every career is set up in such a way that everything, like the 5 fingers, 10 fingers, each finger on a hand serves a purpose. You take off a finger and think that hand's not missing something. So all of the careers, just like the fingers on a hand, all of the careers has to do with this life, this living, the survival. Any of these fingers more important than another one? I mean, they each got their benefit. So what career is more important? And since they are all important, none of these things can be produced without all of these careers coming together. And by so doing, it makes everyone who participates in this career sharing owners of all of that which is being produced. Food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare makes us, each of us, based upon our contribution, our commitment to it, entitles us to everything of it that we want, need, or desire. Ooh, that seems to be so simple. And we did it. Each finger played a role. So whatever the hand gets, it also goes to the baby finger, the thumb, and all those fingers in between. Nobody left out. I said that maybe it would help you to understand my point. Now, one other thing I want to share with you, ladies and gentlemen. These social progressions are achievable without lying. You know how people lie, right? In today's system. Well, we got a leader that lies all the time, but you know what lying. We lie too, so. And we also know that this can be achievable without cheating. No cheating. No cheating. Every time you eat something, every finger on your hand benefits. No stealing. No poverty. No crime, no violence, no terror, no war. All of this because of the system that I've just got through describing to you, ladies and gentlemen. This practice also eliminates racism. One of the biggest problems we have in the United States today for the past at least 500 or 600 or 700 years is racism. No bigotry, no hatred. What are you hating for? Hating means you hungry and somebody else took all the food and won't give you any. Make you mad. Why didn't they take it? Because they hated you. They didn't want you to have it. Why you hate them? Because they're the same reason. But now you got what you want. You got what you need. You got what you desire. What's the premise for hatred? There is none. Not only that, ladies and gentlemen, it eliminates all debt. This program eliminates all debt. Right now, you probably got a mortgage. I don't care how much it is, but it's gone. You got a car note. I don't know what it is, but it's gone. You got debt from borrowing just to have some money in your pocket. I don't know how much it is, but it's gone. You need no loans for anything. You need no fees, no fines. You have no need for money. So all financial obligations are canceled through this program. And you know right now, up to this point, it sounds exactly beautiful. Now, the only person that are going through some changes right now are those who have chosen to abuse and exploit for their own benefit, making sure that if they have to lie, cheat, steal, and all that other stuff, they do it so they can have, and knowing that you're going to be on the streets living on a bridge or something under the system. But they haven't been taught the message that I'm sharing with you today. This is the pattern for heaven on earth. It can't come up with anything more humanly possible for people. And I can't come up with anything more humanly possible for people to do, required to do, in order to achieve this. And it is achievable because it is the fruit of the people. Yet, I can't make it happen. It requires the will of you, every last one of you who profits from it. It requires your support. And for those of you who are Christians, it's the same proposal that Jesus offered. You read the story in the Bible. And even at that time when Jesus offered it, God didn't force it on people until they want it. And it hasn't been forced on people yet until they want it. So why am I speaking of it to you today? So that if you want it, and I'm sure you do, you can practice the principles. Now, I am also aware that there are those out there who want it so bad and who have been trained in such a way that they don't care about anybody else. But I also want to mention just as seriously to them, they'll never have it. You won't have peace. That's for sure. Your dreams won't ever come true. That's for sure. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm wise enough to know that while I can sit here and articulate this message to you and about these principles and have no doubt in my mind that they are achievable and will happen, I cannot make it happen. It will take you and you and you and you and you and all of yous out there. It must be something that you want. It must be an expression of your will. And if you don't will it to happen, it's not going to happen. And I can tell you this, there are many people out here who are good and wonderful people. There are low-down dirty snakes out here. People snakes. And that is the truth. But there are going to have to be some changes on every side. The snakes are going to have to start being wonderful people, and the wonderful people are going to have to start being better than that, because wonderful people going for good people are not good enough. Because in all of the good people out here, we still have lying, cheating, stealing, killing, crime, violence, and all these kinds of things that's going on in the world. But ladies and gentlemen, this is why I asked the people of the state of Minnesota to give me a shot by making me the next senator from the state of Minnesota in the election of November 6, 2018. Let me go to Washington and share with the nation the message that I've been sharing here for 30 some odd years. And I want to do that so hopefully if you can make Trump president of the United States when he was trying to con you and use you, you might would want to consider making this young man, Eddie Marcus, as a write-in, the president of the United States, who's talking about your freedom, who's talking about your peace and your prosperity and your joy and your dreams coming true. Not just dreaming in the back of your mind, but really looking at it because you're making steps toward it every day. And so I ask you to consider this and write my name in. I won't be on the ballot because up at this point, Republicans can never stand what I'm talking about. Democrats will never put up what I'm talking about. But you become an independent, not, when I say independent, I'm talking about your own heart. Express your will, not something that somebody else designed for you. But I'm just sharing this because I know you want what I mentioned. So I'm asking you to pull off all of that you've been trained and taught that would deny you what I've just shared with you. And set yourself and go into your own heart and believe that what you desire and the joy that you want, the next person that you see walking down the street wants the same thing. And understand that if you can't have it, that person shouldn't have it. And if that person can have it and you don't, that person shouldn't have it. So, if you both need it, want it, desire it, then do what is required to get it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so very much for giving me this your time. Once again, this is Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. Before I go, ladies and gentlemen, I know what it's like to be without. I learned a long time ago that people in this system that we live under, people who don't have can get along having. I also learned, ladies and gentlemen, oh baby, that I want you to have all of these things that you essentially want. And I'm not playing games with you. I definitely want them for myself, and I'm certain that you want it as well. But not having, I see it all across the land. I've been places around the world. I see it, and not having is not fun. And so I also recognize that those that do have it, for some strange reason, and you might understand it, don't really care about the situations of others that don't have it. And that is why all of the other stuff, the wars and the terrorism and all this stuff continues. And so, trying to keep myself in a position to desire and want for you, I made sure that all of those things that I just articulated that I want so diligently, I abstain from them until we can have them together. And I do this because I can speak. I will stand up for what I know is right. I've been chosen to do this. I've been trained to do this. And I know that there are those of you who will not say anything but just pout. And for those who need a voice, I am the voice. I'm one of the voices. And I hope that your heart will allow you to see and understand what I'm about and embrace it and support it. Here again, I want to thank you. This is Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people, saying bye-bye.